Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and the Supreme Court just pulled a fast one on President Joe Biden and the Democrats. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. Reporting was that hours before the debate here, what the Biden administration wanted was a ruling that would have banned emergency abortions in the state of Idaho. However, that's not what they got. The Supreme Court kinda, sorta allowed these emergency abortions to continue. Now, these are not abortions where the woman's life is in danger. These are abortions where, she might have to have a hysterectomy or there might be some medical complications. They're more elective abortions than they sound like when you say emergency. But the Supreme Court did not rule to keep them legal forever. What they did was they said they didn't have the jurisdiction to rule. And then the conservative justices basically wrote out a roadmap for attorneys about how to get the case back before them, where presumably they'll strike it down. And this infuriated Justice Ketanji, who sits on the court, and she's Biden's appointee. She wrote her dissent, and it was scathing. And then you see the reporters basically talk about how this was a setup by the Supreme Court to basically bail Trump out, so he didn't have to talk about this tonight, and so it wouldn't be an issue for the election this year. It's actually genius if that's what they did. I want you to watch this report on it, and then please give me your opinions in the comments.
Ali Honig, Paula Reed, to break it down. Paula?
So we've been listening in with the court to find out what cases we're going to get today. They had 10 outstanding. We got 4, and 2 of the bigger ones. The first one you were discussing earlier, Purdue Pharma, but then also this abortion case out of Idaho. But a little bit of a spoiler, of course, we got this yesterday. It was inadvertently leaked on the court's website. But yesterday in a statement, while the Supreme Court confirmed it had inadvertently briefly appeared on the website, it did not confirm that it was actually the opinion. And instead, the statement said that the actual formal opinion would be released in due course. Well, it looks like in due course is today. So as we reported yesterday, in this opinion, the court sides basically with the Biden administration for now, but this is specific to the state of Idaho. They're saying, look, in the state of Idaho right now, if doctors need to perform abortions to stabilize a woman in an emergency room setting, they can continue to do that, even though the state law would require doctors to wait until a woman's life is in danger. But the reason this doesn't really resolve the issue is because this only applies to Idaho. And in her concurrence, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, she said, look, this isn't a victory because you're not answering the question of what doctors are required to do by law now that you've sort of overturned Roe v. Wade and tossed this issue down to the states. So technically it's a win for the Biden administration in this highly watched abortion case, but it still leaves a lot of questions unanswered.
Yeah, right, because you had the Idaho ban, but also 13 other states, right, with a near total abortion ban, including in Texas. And there's a lawsuit challenging the Texas ban. And so this could end up right back before the high court soon, right?
This is precisely Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson's point that she makes in the dissent. She says, we punted today. That's what they did. They granted certiorari, the Supreme Court. They took the case several months ago, and now today they're saying, whoops, we messed up. We never should have taken the case back down to the normal course. And what Justice Jackson is saying is we should be able to rule here because federal law, when it conflicts with state law, should prevail, which would mean broader abortion rights, broader obligations by doctors to perform emergency surgeries. And Justice Jackson says the result of what we've done here today is we're going to have inconsistency state to state. We're going to subject the country to ongoing litigation working its way through the federal district courts, courts of appeals, before I think Justice Jackson agrees, ultimately will end up back at the Supreme Court. When you have such a square clash between federal law and state law, and the issue is so fundamental as to when do doctors have to give emergency care to patients, to women who are pregnant, that's such an important question. There's such a square conflict here. It will end up before the Supreme Court, but not for potential